Go.
Do you ever feel lost? Unsure of what step to take next? Unsure whether to stay or to go? Wondering if it's time for a major change or just to stay the course? And how do you know? And who has the time to even think about that? And have I done any of the right steps so far? And how can I be sure? Have you ever felt that way? Thanks for letting me know it's not just me. And now I hope you know it's not just you. For me, this plays out like moments of peace and confidence and energy, and I plow ahead at full speed, full of an idea, of hope, of dreams, and the pedal goes to the metal for as long as I can. But at some point, it's time to refuel. And you can ask my husband, Jeff, I always wait until the last drop of fuel. And then I wonder why I'm so empty and tired, and I start wondering if everything I've done is wrong, and my confidence and peace was all a facade, and all that energy was for naught. Then usually I get a little rest, a little prayer, a little hope, and start again, but often following the same pattern. I've just recently become aware of this pattern, maybe just as recently as writing this down, but I've realized it's not just my pattern, that some version of it is present in the ancient stories of scripture and in the people around me and even in nature. There's this cool old professor from Columbia Seminary where I attended for a short time, and he's bold and he cusses and he's a bit curmudgeon-y, but he says these amazing things about the Old Testament. He brings it to life in really incredible ways, and if you're curious about that, you can look up Walter Brueggemann. Anyway, he categorizes the Psalms in these categories of orientation, disorientation, reorientation. Just like my pattern, these ancient poems are snapshots of people's experience of a sort of normalcy, and then a lostness, and then a new normal, and hopefully a better normal, with more experience and knowledge behind it. God, I hope that's the truth. But it's got me thinking, if we can recognize our patterns, we can learn all the more from them. Learn ways of finding peace in our lostness instead of panic, resting assured that something follows the lostness. Maybe that will give us a bit more compassion for ourselves. And Brene Brown, an expert on empathy and compassion, says that's the first step to having empathy and compassion for others. To be clear, she draws a stark line between sympathy and empathy. We aren't talking about that, oh, I feel so bad for you, kind of motivation or sentiment. That's not connecting. That's holding at arm's length and even kind of looking down your nose at this pitiful thing, pitiful situation. We do this to our own pain, even. We hold it at arm's length, look down on it like some sad, sappy thing that's not really part of us, or just needs to be powered through, or maybe even superficially soothed or numbed. But then the tendency is to try to do that to others, to look down at those pitiful people in their pitiful situation, like some sad, sappy thing. They just need to power through, or let's do some surface level soothing and then tell ourselves we did our part. So how is that not what we're doing today? Can we let it really penetrate us? Reach into our hearts and begin a little empathy for our patterns, for our lostness, for our disorientation. Because if we can, then it becomes authentic change, at a minimum for you and yourself and me and myself. It's not about feeling lost or overwhelmed. That's part of the journey and has been for thousands of years, if we look at ancient stories and poems. But can we be gentle in it? Can we love ourselves and others in the midst of it all? A friend recently invited me, when I feel sad, to imagine my sadness as a person. Someone I could sit next to, just be with, talk to. And at first it was hard. It was really scary. I didn't want to see myself that way. Depressed, depleted, sad. No one wants to be around this gloomy version of hopelessness. Until that point, I hadn't really realized the intense sadness that I was capable of. And I didn't want to. It felt like a dark hole I could fall into and never come out of. But I tried again. I imagined myself hugging sad me. I told her it was okay to be sad, and I'd just sit with her if she wanted. I told her I was sorry that I ignored her, and saw her sadness as weakness, her pain as unimportant and insignificant. The ways I tried to convince her to just suck it up and keep going. I told her she could just be sad, and I wouldn't abandon her. This is not a conversation I can have just once. It's going to take more than that. But something did release a bit. Something lifted. And I feel more compassion for myself and for other people experiencing depression. Something, if I'm honest, I've been dismissive of and mad at. It's hard to grow, friends. It's hard to feel. It's incredibly hard to feel lost. It feels dangerous. But you know that because you've done it. And you've survived. You traveled from your oriented through your disoriented and came out reoriented in a new way. And you'll do it again. You're doing it now. I need just a couple of minutes, baby girl. I'm almost done, and then I'm going to call you back because I'm going to need your help again, baby girl. Get back reoriented. See, we just went through it. Oriented, disoriented.
Thanks for demonstrating.
Reoriented. This is the way that we will all grow and transform. No magic pill, no magic religion, no magic relationship, just normal, lost, and new normal. Just caterpillar, cocoon, butterfly. Just sure, unsure, and sure again. But here's what you need to know. You can do this. Many have before, and many more will. And even you have. And what if everyone we pitied or shamed or looked down on, the other in an issue, the other political party, someone we've labeled foolish, weak, someone we've labeled hurtful, what if we could see them with empathy that we've extended to ourselves and then to others? To that foolish or weak or hurtful person inside us and the one we see out there. Because when we want to punish ourselves is when we want to punish others. So that's how what we're doing isn't just pity and sympathy. Because we are walking together through whatever version of disorientation we are in, and in doing so, becoming along the way. And when we change ourselves, not one thing we interact with can stay the same, because the formula changes. So can you be compassionate to yourself in lostness? Because that's how you'll have genuine compassion for anyone else. Because that's how you'll transform. Can you look at that sad or hurting or angry person in yourself and give them a hug? Tell them it'll be okay. Not as a platitude, but because you know, because you've done it before. And you have this book of thousands of confessions of others who have too. And you have this community that is each one and together doing it. God, let it be so. Amen. Amen. So our project today is building little libraries. And it's the brainchild of Kim Hodges and Dave Hodges, who felt passionate about this movement. And we're lucky to have, it's Lizanne, right?
Yeah.
Lizanne with us, who built the little library outside of the Bailey House, where we've met a number of times and caretakes for that. And we're inspired by the possibility. Books can create hope, and opportunity to them can create learning and many other opportunities for kids here and kids that come by. So we're going to break up into teams because there's a number of us. And Dave is going to lead a team of builders. So we'll take about half to be builders, and then we'll take about half to come. We've got to sort through these books, choose which ones go in the library, and sticker them. We have some little stickers to put on them to keep them organized. And then we'll take the rest and donate those as well. So if you're feeling particularly compelled to be a builder, you can go with Dave.
Disclaimer, you do not need to be handy.
Okay.
Do we need a screwdriver?
You don't even need to know lefty loosey, righty tighty.
Okay.
I will set the drill in the proper position and you'll pull the trigger.
Sounds good.
Okay.
And if you want to stay over here, I'm not going to...
Okay, I got one.